3, we went through chapter 1, which was the introduction to our piano, our instrument, and the second chapter, which was a pretty long chapter, I agree, which was covered our major scales, all 12 major scales from C to B, and including all the sharps and flats. So we have a boatload of knowledge, and we're going to build upon that knowledge now in moving into chapter 3, which is the minor scale. And the formula for the minor scale is slightly different than the major scale. Okay? So in our major scale we had 1 and then whole, half. Now the minor scale is slightly different. Okay? It starts with the 1, it goes whole, half, whole, half, whole. Okay, so slightly different. So it's 1 and then whole, half, whole. Do it one more time. Starting at the 1, whole, half, whole, half. Now originally we had the 1, whole, half. But for the minor scale, we have 1, whole, half, whole. So a slight breakup there. But there's an easier way to learn the minor scale of any key by knowing your major scales, and that's why building upon your major scale learning is so paramount. So basically, we played the key, the minor scale of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you might be saying, well, I think I do see the pattern, or the scale that is associated to it is a relative major of this of this minor. And the relative major would be E flat, and that relative minor, of course, is C. Now you might be saying, well, how did you identify that? And the easiest way to identify it is by saying the sixth tone of any major scale is a relative minor of that scale. So let's play E flat. You should know how to play it with me. Starting with the E flat is 1, E flat, C is the sixth tone in that scale. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? Sixth tone. And you hear that 3 tone? So the 3rd tone and the 6th tone are the minor tones of that scale. We'll build on this in the later chapters. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hear that sound? 7, 8. See how bright these are? And then you get to that one, not so much. And then that one is not as bright, but it's still minor. There you go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take that 6. And we're just going to start the minor scale playing the same notes as the major, but just starting at the 6th for the 1. Just that simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2. Now what did I just do there? I started in the major scale of E flat to show you that we're hitting the same notes. It's just the starting point is different. Very simple. So, starting at 1, whole, half, whole, half, whole, as opposed to So that's a slight variation here, okay? C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. That is your minor scale. How to find the minor scale of the key you're trying to play. You find the major scale and then go 1, 2, 3 half steps down. That's the other trick, is to find that major, and if you want to find its minor, you go 1, 2, 3. See how easy that was? Again, E flat, go 3 steps down, 1, 2, 3, and then you're playing the same notes. Now we're going to make it even simpler by going to the major scale of C. And we all know this is all the white notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Now, let's take it 3 half steps to the left. Ah, there's the A. And this is the 6th tone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the C. 3 half steps down, you get to that 6th tone, and then you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still 8 notes in the scale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. One more time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now, there's also another way to learn your minor scale by simply listening. This is a very jazzy sounding scale. The minor scales will always sound jazzy. We'll build on this later. But if you notice, the major scale of C has a very bright sound. Very chipper, very happy, very like skipping in the park sound. But the minor scale, it sounds like you're up to something. It sounds like it's investigative. A little bit more excitement is in that minor scale. And most modern music alternates between major scales and minor scales in their performances. Or they'll have a bridge where they'll be playing major. Like and then you'll hear and then they'll go back to. And what that does is that kind of takes you from one part of thinking to another part of thinking, and it keeps you interested. Okay, so let's continue on with our major scale and minor, relative minor association. So for the scale of C, that's our major, and the relative minor is what? It's 3 steps, 3 half steps back, and then we play the same notes. So the A minor scale is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now, let's pick another one at random. Let's do the E flat minor scale. Now, how do we know that's right? We should know that's right because if we go 3 half steps up to the F sharp major scale, we'll play that. Let's prove it out. 1, whole, half, whole, half. Very good. So now let's go 3 half steps back from F sharp. 1, 2, 3. Sounds like you're falling downstairs. And then it's 1, whole, half, 1, W, H, W, H, W, W. So it breaks it up a little bit. It's not that whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now it's 1 and then whole and then half and then whole, whole, half. So we have the 2, we have the 1 whole, then half, then 2, half. So we see the breakup. 1, 2, half, 1, 2. Whole step, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Very, very simple. Okay. And hear how dark that sounds? That's a minor chord. And we'll get into that later on how to make those minor chords. But now let's pick another one just at random. I'm going to let you choose. No, I'm going to choose. Let's choose the minor scale of B flat. Okay? So, how do we find the major scale that relates to this relative minor? We go up 3 half steps. 2, you guessed it, C sharp, D flat. Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what are we going to do? We're going to play B flat, and this is going to be the minor scale. So let's go. So in the same way that C sharp major had 2 white notes, B flat minor only has the 2 white notes. Very, very simple. It's just your starting point changes. That's it. And everything else stays the same. So in the documentation, you'll see every note as it pertains to the minor scales and how they relate to their big brother or big cousin, their major scale counterpart. Same notes, different starting point. And that's all you have to know, is that the starting point changes. And that the sound is going to appear to be a little darker, a little bit more, interesting and intriguing. And this will help you to identify music in general as we continue on. All right, one more scale. Let's pick one more minor scale. Let's do D. Now I'm going to let you tell me what is the major scale that allows this to be the relative minor. Now if we're going to be D minor, then to find that major we have to go up to the right 3. And we found it. It's here. It's F. So our F scale is whole, half, whole, half. So the minor scale that relates to F is, as we said, D. And let's do our minor scale pattern, which is whole, half, whole, half, whole. Let's do it again. Starting at 1, whole, half, whole, whole. Very good. One more time. Starting at 1, whole, half, whole, half, whole. And how the minor scale feels. It feels like you're about to start running and then you have to walk. And then you're about to start running and then you have to walk. In picking up momentum, it's starting one, whole, half, whole, I'm running, half, whole, whole. And it's kind of choppy, and that's how the minor scale is. It's a choppy way of playing a scale, and it has its own intriguing sound, a darker, more sound of like a murder mystery or something like that, where, you know, the intensity is picking up as opposed to a bright sunny day. Major scale, and that's the key of C. Major C, and this is minor C. And you can easily see the difference in the tones. I'm alternating from the key of major C, or the scale of major C, to minor. Now I just went to B flat major. Now I'm going to go to B flat minor. And that is the minor scale of B flat. So, in the same way that we did our discovery for the major scale, we played all of the major scales in sync. We played them all in a row. I'm going to attempt to play all the minor scales in a row, and I'm going to start with the key of C. I'm going to start down here for the video so that we don't go too high in the video, but in the audio you'll be able to hear it and depict them, starting one octave lower than middle C on this C here. Ready? Let's go. We're going to go nice and slow using our pattern of whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. You ready? Let's start at the C below middle C. Ready? Next one, D flat. Next is D. Wait a minute, you might say, wait a minute, that didn't sound right. That's right, it didn't sound right. So let's go back to D. D, whole, half, whole, half. There we go, whole, whole. I almost messed everything up there. Now I have to do it again to punish myself. Ready, set, one, whole, half, whole, half, whole. And that is the major scale is F. So you'll know if you don't get it right because it won't sound, you won't be hitting the same notes as the major scale that it's related to. Next one is E flat. So let's use that same whole half formula for the minor scale. Ready? Starting at the one. Whole, half, whole, whole. And that sounds right because that's our F sharp relative for our major for that one. Next is E, and let's continue. One, half, whole, again. One, half, key of F. One, half, half. Do it again. F. flat, 1, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, and finally B, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. One more time, B, whole, half, whole, whole, whole. Okay, so in closing, practice that until you get all of your scales down. It's a lot to take in, but over time and slowly, just as you learn to walk and learn to ride a bike, you get it down over time. Another practice to do, like I was mentioning earlier, is go from your major to your minor. That's a good practice to do. See that? And you'll also see which notes are different. So see, those notes are different, and that note's different. So we have 3 changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in the key of C, our 3rd tone, our 6th tone, and our 7th tone all go down 1 to the left. So there's many different ways to identify it, and I'm just giving you about 3 or 4. We have the relative by going 3 down from the major to the relative minor, starting at E flat going down to C. So that's one minor scale, how to identify it. The second is, if you've gotten it as advanced as going from the 3rd, 6th, and 7th tone and just dropping it down and saying, okay, I can't play the 3rd, 6th, and 7th. And I think that might be a little bit more, in starting out, a little bit too much, but just remember that you're building upon the existing knowledge that you got from the previous chapters. Okay? And it's good, again, to go through and play also the major and then the relative minor, and then also drop the 3, 6, and 7 down to the left 1. Each one goes half a step down. And you probably have heard some jazz musicians do that. So give me a little bit of theory in some of the tricks that they do, and some of the sounds that they make, some of the riffs and runs and arpeggios that they do. Okay, so we've covered minor scale. So in closing, let us look at the major and then relative minor for each of these before we close out this chapter. Okay, so C, starting at C for the major scale. So that's the major scale, C, and the relative minor is 3 steps back. So A would be the minor scale for C. A would be the minor. Why? Because A is the 6th tone in the scale. Now, moving up to C sharp, going 2 steps back. B flat is the minor scale. D, B is the minor scale. Major scale, E flat, like we covered earlier. C is the minor scale. For the major scale of E, D flat or C sharp is the minor scale. Going to F, 3 down is D for the minor scale. Same notes. E flat is the minor, F sharp is the major. So F sharp the major, and then E flat is that minor. G is the major, 3 half steps down is E. A flat is the major, the relative minor is F. For the major scale of A, F sharp would be the relative minor. For the major scale of B flat, G would be the relative minor. And for B, 3 half steps down, A flat would be its relative minor. And you just learned your minor scales. Congratulations. Take a quick break and we'll come back for our next